on. Hey everyone, it's Antonio here with Nana Tingz, and I have my soul sister and a special guest here today, Nour. Hi, Mama.
No. Hi. I wanted to make it really awkward at first. Just, it's Daddy, actually. How are you?
That's why I love you.
Oh my God, I really do thrive on camera.
Yeah, girl.
I was just saying before we did this, I was just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah,
Now I'm like, and action.
that's what I told you. She was like, should we have an episode where we just brainstorm first and then go? I'm like, girl, you are so
Yeah.
you're so camera ready, and like your comedy is just like you're naturally fucking funny. Um, this is one of the best intros actually in my podcast. I love how you just like
Oh.
stood there. But yeah, I met Nour back in April now, right? Was it April at a house party?
The fact that it's still this year is nuts.
Isn't that crazy? Anyone that's listening or watching, because like obviously we have a video slash audio version of this. Nour is like my soul sister. Like I can't even explain it, but like I am just so gravitated towards you.
I thought we were dating.
Oh yeah, okay. Are we soul? We're soul lovers.
Well, when I saw it, I go, "You're really hot and tall."
You're really hot.
Because I kept hearing your name, and I was like, "Who is that?" And so I walked in late, and you're the tallest person there. So I was like, "Hey, you come."
Yeah, ordered McDonald's
sorry.
and had a heart to heart. It was everything. But yeah, you are amazing, and I'm really happy that you have this platform to talk about everything we're going to talk about today. But before we get into all of it, because there's a lot to cover, can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
If you don't already know, you should not. Well, no, you should. You should.
Run.
It's funny when people say, "Tell me about yourself." I'm like, which era?
Okay. Good question. I'm gonna only go with modern. I feel like you've blossomed a lot this year. I'm gonna literally go with like this week, Nour.
Ooh, thank you so much. Because someone asked me how, like, they were like, "Oh, what do you like? Like, what do you do for fun?" And I was like, "Today." It's always different. So now, can you ask the question again? Regis, can I get the question again?
Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm. This is weird. I am a human.
What do you do?
That is just just what I do. I try to be the best version of myself every single day, and I also do tarot on the side. I'm an intuitive psychic. This happened not because I tried. It just, I literally woke up one day with a deep intuition, and I explored it, and I found out that I had some gifts, and I wanted to use them to first help friends, or just see if it, helps any friends that are close to me. And then it kind of became who I am. It became like my purpose.
Yeah, your gifts are powerful, and I think that's what made us bond even more, because me being clairvoyant as well. And I met you at a time where a lot of my witchery started to grow, and having you to really like help me learn, or like we stabilize each other, just made a lot of this power evolve. But yes, anyone that wants a tarot reading, I mean, I can attest that Nour is phenomenal at her readings and also downloads that she gets. So in the description of the video and the audio, I will have all her information. Please check her out, book her, all the Tingz and all the fun. Also, if you don't want to do tarot card reading, her social media alone is just fucking fun. So either.
It really do be fun. It really do be fun.
It's funny. Your Instagram stories entertain me. So I'm like, hey, whether you want a tarot reading or just some entertainment, take it or not.
Yeah. And when, like, obviously when I moved to LA, it was not to do something specific. I just wanted to leave where I grew up. So when I did, everyone's like, well, okay, you make people laugh. Why don't you do stand up? Like, they would place me in these like categories that I like watching with other people, but I don't want that for me. And I was like, no, it's not that. It's something else. And I'm like, I think it's just helping people, but it has to be creative and artistic. But I don't want to be in front of the camera, and I don't want to be the actress, but I want to be the one that uplifts the actress. And I'm like, well, and that's when the abilities started happening, and I was starting to become a magnet to artists that kind of needed a little push or advice, or like wanted to hear my side of like how that world is when they're, traveling and all that stuff. And that led me to you, because your entire like the people that you were surrounding yourself with were dancers and art singers, and they were just all creative, right? And it was these two parties that we were at, and you and I were on the corner, like
Yeah.
just like on like a weird couch, just talking about something that no one wants to talk about at a party. And then I think we knew when to leave, just naturally, because that's when people kind of fizzle out, or it's a little too much stimulation, and we're like, so I'm gonna head out. And
Yep.
we told each other, but we never told other people. And I loved your independence. I think that's why we continue to like hang out separately. The first time we hung out separately, I think was a big deal.
Uh, it
Like
was,
individually, like without the
yeah, it
group.
was, that day was insanely amazing with you.
That
That
was the
tarot
full moon,
reading,
right? The full moon day
yes,
when
and
I
the
picked you
tarot
up.
reading that, no, I don't even think we did a moon thing that day. It was just a tarot reading at the cafe.
The cafe.
But
That's what it was.
that
That
was a
was
very big day though,
amazing.
because the readings that you gave me were very specific without you even knowing a lot of information, but you knew so much detail just by your downloads on my past relationship that I was sold, girl. I was like, how the fuck do you know some of these things? Like, it was crazy. Um,
Did you notice that when we were at the table, because it was a cafe, there were so many like personalities and different energy. Once we got in my car, that's when everything. We were in that car for maybe 2 hours.
yeah,
And I was like, let me do this again, and everything resonated
yeah.
for you at that time.
I passed by this school the other day where we did our full moon one, and I thought about you. I was like,
I love
oh,
that school. I love that school.
I was like, oh, this is where we had our like little like meditation and everything. I want to make a
Yeah.
side funny note. Actually, I was talking to my mom about you the other day and how you really are a witch. Because let me tell you something. So when you went to go check on my cats, my webcam was on, right? Okay.
Stop.
So hold on.
Did I wave?
You did not get picked up on it at all. It said someone was there, yet you did not show
Am
up
I
in the video.
live? Am I dead? Stop. Are
No,
you
I don't
serious?
know, because Jake checked in on them a few days later, and it showed him. And it shows my cats when they would move. You, for some reason, are invisible on all the videos, and I'm not even lying. Like,
Is that like what does that mean? That scares me. So you gotta.
well, usually only vampires don't get on footage.
Wait, I literally took out the AirPods during the punchline. Hold on.
I'm like,
Got it.
is there really strong clairvoyant power that you can't be on footage?
Wait, did I like. What is it called when you disappear? So there's telekinesis, there's telepathy,
Oh,
which
teleport.
I teleported?
I don't think so, though, because you were in my apartment
No.
helping the cats. You were there. I really think your
I
frequency is so
remember.
high that it can shut down certain technology. Like, when you like meditate or like you can light a candle and things flicker out of nowhere. I think it's that kind of stuff. I think it's the energy reaction that can shut off technology.
Yeah. That happens a lot when you and me are together.
I was about to say, you and we can shut a traffic light down. Like, it's
I mean,
literally.
the fact that I have never had this issue with my computer, like downloading like Chrome. It's like, really?
We do have, you and I have our frequency, our aura frequency is a little insane. Like, when I'm with you, it's like, so I'm really good at like aura color readings, and like you and I have different colors, but when we're together, it actually creates red. You and I together is just
You
like
told me about
red.
that. That's so cool. I've never seen aura colors on people. And I think I asked you, like, do they change daily?
Yeah, they change
And
all
you
the
say
time. Yours is right now white and pink.
mine?
Mm-hmm. And you know why
Cool.
it's
Okay.
pink? Is because you're in your self-love journey, and I can feel it.
Oh, I love that. I always thought that was yellow. What is yellow?
Yellow is amazing. I think just good people are yellow. It's warm. For me, I get bronze and yellow energy when people are like actually ready to be enticing and give that energy to someone.
Yeah.
When you're feeling clairvoyant, feeling clarity, that's white. It can also be purple, right? Like that third eye.
Love that. Yeah. I've always felt
And
purple,
pink
but
is great because pink is rare. I don't see pink on a lot of people. Pink,
ooh.
even in magic with a K, right, and in witchery, you use pink candles for love. We always think you use red, but red actually has more of a lust, sex, love to it. Pink is really
Right.
the real love root, like a rose quartz. So when someone has a pink glow around them, even if it's a little tint, it means that they're either on a very beautiful self love journey right now and ready to commit to themselves more, or they're moving on to another lover. But honestly, for you and just knowing you so well, off I'm things that we talk about off the record, right? That I'm
Mhm.
not going to talk on here, but I know you so well now, where you really are in this like rose quartz self love, self growth journey. So I think that's why the pink is showing that it did not show on 4th of July. Um,
No, that was, you know what? That was a turning point for me. 4th of July,
Both of us, yeah.
physically, like I could feel all the heaviness from my childhood, my adolescence, my relationships, my trauma. Like I say trauma now because it's not anymore.
Yeah.
Because once you realize it is, it's you can't keep saying that. It's now a new thing that is being built in order to create something beautiful. Because that night, and I knew for maybe a month. I think I told you like 4th of July is going to be big,
Oh,
and
you knew for two
obviously,
months, girl. You told me this at that cafe shop in May, and we
yes. And
went
I'm
right
like,
before
I know
Cinco
it's
de
a
Mayo.
holiday. Yeah, and I was like, it's not about the holiday. It's actually like something that
You
will have
predicted
nothing.
it 60 days in advance. Crazy. Like,
I feel them. I don't see them yet, and so that's why I was going to talk to you actually about. Um, I I think I told you I know that you are clairvoyant, and I know you're going to start seeing all these images, and that's why we were brought together because I'm a lot of the friends that I'm meeting lately are ones with abilities that are stronger than mine, and we help each other because
yeah.
that's what you become a magnet to. You actually don't become a magnet to someone like you. It's someone who resonates with you but has a different thing they could offer you, metaphorically speaking.
No, you're so right. Hanging out with you, I feel like my downloads have become stronger. My tarot readings have become really stronger. Like now I can do them without even like a blink of the eye. Like I'm just like, whoa, I'm so tapped into these cards now. Messages from animals are stronger now. Like my cat is especially Sasha, so fucking in tune. Um, and even the frequency playlist that you would send me, I remember when I was going through a lot of like my heartbreak healing, like a lot of these frequencies that really helped me, but not even just clairvoyant stuff, just like talking to you as a friend, right? Like a lot of just you being a listening ear for my pain and vice versa. Like, I was
Hmm.
there for you. And I think having a friend that you can vent to and not trauma dump, but also have a friend that like at the same time of venting, you can psychically grow is beautiful, you know?
I noticed you were, by the way, the only friend I've had that has dealt with what I was going through in the way that you did. And I didn't think there was another way to deal with it besides listen or give advice. But you just, you kind of like set an unspoken boundary of, okay, you can vent, but don't feel sorry for yourself. I don't have time for that because I have my own shit. And that's how I feel. But I just expect people to be that way. And if they're not, I'm like, oh, it's fine. But you're like, no, you gotta go. And you've never done that to me because it was unspoken. I'm like, wait, I'm getting complaining. I don't like that. And then we would change it.
Yeah,
And
you and
we,
I have such a natural flow with each other. It's wild. Like, I can't even
we were
explain.
literally going through the same thing. And
Hmm.
we're basically looking in the mirror and giving each other like ourselves the advice as male
I,
and female instead.
that's our reading we have with the fire. That was a mirror reading, bitch. We literally both got our like spirit guide cards, okay? Like
And I was like, why am I vibrating? And you're like, you have to do it. And I'm like, I don't want that card. And I remember
no,
you
and
telling me,
you did. It was the beginning of your self-love journey. I'm so glad you picked that card. It was literally meant.
we discovered a lot of like stuff about things in our, I'm trying to word it right. Things came to light that we had no idea
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
possible. But it's like an aha moment. It's
yeah.
like when the detective
Literally.
finally finds the clue. It's like, oh shit. And I just remember we looked at each other and we like stepped back. We're like,
No, because the magic was strong. Like there was a moment where we were like, we were like, is any, as if it was just us two together, but we're acting as if like, is there a camera crew? We're like, is anyone else seeing this right now? Because it's literally crazy. Like,
but then also we were like, this is something we can't explain to
no,
friends.
we
And usually
can't. We would sound crazy.
I've noticed it doesn't even, the words don't even make a sentence when I tell it.
It
I'm like, so
doesn't.
he was telling us, and I just kind of, I'm like, oh, well, that part you won't. It just doesn't make sense. And I love storytelling. So I'm like, wait, this is a personal thing. I should just keep it for me and him, just like I do with my other mystic friends.
But yeah, I think that's why our friendship's so great because it is really actually sacred. It's one of the
Yep.
only friendships I have that like the public doesn't really know a
Now
lot
they
about.
do.
Well, no, they know this, but they don't. They still don't know our dynamic. It's so.
I
It's
know.
just so. It's so special. Like, and I only have a few friends that I'm like that with. So it's really nice to have someone out in the West Coast that like gets it. Because like
Mm-hmm.
I only have this very rare with a few other friends, but on the East Coast, and it was because from childhood friends. So we already had this like really crazy bond that like there was no social media around back then that, to explain it. So yeah, it's rare to have someone in this digital age that you can vibe with without like having outsiders in on. So
Yeah.
you and I sort of built this beautiful,
Because we're lonelies. We don't have
yeah,
cliques. We don't, I didn't even, I'm sure you didn't even have that in high school.
nope,
I just wanted to talk to everyone. I
yes.
want to be friends with everyone, but I wanted to talk to everyone.
I think because like you and I are, we're blessed to have these talents and gifts. So I think we come, we're natural healers. Hence why we have codependent issues sometimes. Exactly. We don't want to be friends with everyone, but like we have the ability to talk and also see through the bullshit with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about that, I want to segue into this big topic. I'm going to let you do all the talking about it, but I know obviously a lot about you. Like we just came across it about, and I know you've been a muse of someone or some ting for a while. And I think it's time with your growth, your self fucking growth that you're in right now, this beautiful new era of Nour's life. Tell us all how does it feel owning a new narrative and not being tied to someone else's narrative or muse, and also how is it to cut off these codependency wires?
It's like a blessing and a curse to be
Mm-hmm.
called a muse because, and I was telling my friend this earlier too, muses have expiration dates. There's
Yeah.
always, it's like going to a relationship saying, so in a few years this will be over. No one wants that. So you don't get told you're the muse until you become one, and then it's too late. And then that whatever you are is now in the hands of the artist. It has nothing to do with you anymore. And so there's an unfairness to that because yeah, like they've created something beautiful that lives on, but what about the actual human being that's left there? Like they need to like they have their own life and they're good at other things. They're not just good to fuel your creative juices. So, you could either just be like, oh, well, I used to be with this person back then. It's like, no, I'm, I've always been me and I've always shown it to others. And every relationship, I've been the same person always. I've evolved, but my character, my beliefs have been the same. So when I was left just kind of isolated and have to go inward again, I was like, wow, I really thought I knew myself. And
Mm.
you keep learning. And it was a good thing. It wasn't bad. I was like, I don't see anything ugly I need to take away. I see beautiful things that were dimmed. And not because of that's where people I think when they break up they confuse it with they did that to me. I did it to me. And no one's at fault but you when your light is dimmed because you get to decide if you want that or not. And codependency leads to complacency. Like
Hmm.
you want to be complacent, and then but we're air signs, so our actual nature is to be free. So that paradox is like, oh gosh, well, do I want this perfect life that I've been taught is perfect? Or do I want to like go out into the wilderness and just not know what happens? And of course, the sense of wanderlust and adventure is it's going to lead you there no matter what. And so the narrative basically is I'm Nour Petite. I have abilities too. I have a lot. I think I'm a fucking great writer. I can write anything. I've written romance novels. I've written comedic short stories. I've written TV pilots, but
You have a book.
it wasn't from pain. It was from observing hilarious scenarios. And so at my lowest, once I came out of it, I then became the observer and I was like looking at old pictures during that time and I'm like, you stupid bitch. In a good way. I'm like, I have so much to write about you. And yeah, it's like a coming of age story, but not a movie. It's still being told.
Let's not forget you wrote a children's book also.
Yes, what was crazy is I wrote that right before I had I was like, a divorce? Right before I had a breakup. So I know I'm capable of doing these amazing things while I'm giving love to someone.
100%.
I just am so glad that I know I could. That was just like scratching the surface, if that makes sense.
Now,
I
my
wear many
question,
hats.
yeah, no, my question then is there anything that's been in the media about you or about the breakup that like you just want to at least clarify now or give your side of the opinion? Because I feel like you really haven't had the chance in the past few years of albums and stuff to really express your side of things.
I now understand why people who, if they like an artist and that artist hasn't released music and they're happy in a relationship, they're going to blame the person they're dating because somehow in my situation, it was a coincidence that there was going to be a bunch of new music released right when we broke up. And people just assumed that, oh, finally, this person is heartbroken.
Oh,
We get more music. And it's like, well, no, there's like a lot of like privacy that's needed right now and a lot of pain that has to be dealt with because I'm now in a world where there are people I actually genuinely care about that were huge fan that began as huge fans, still are, that then liked me for me. And we talked about other stuff, and some of them I've met, like uh, random cities and countries, and we're still close, and it's a few people, but everyone asks me like what happened, and I almost feel like I'm not allowed to say anything. No one's told me that, but I feel like, well, it's not my place. And now I'm like, well, I can make it art too.
yeah.
I don't want to just complain about it. I want to make it art. And I guess I'm doing that with my life. Like that's why I like Lana Del Rey. You just you have to, like she says, life imitates art. So I try to do that with everything, not thinking about uh, family stuff or friendships or breakups. It's just me.
Yeah. Did you, side note, do you know Lana works at the Waffle House now?
Side note, I definitely looked into that. Hello.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the true story?
Yeah, what's happening?
So she was with her brother and sister, and there's a photo of them like on the table, just and she was there for a wedding. Her friend was getting married in Alabama, and the waiter noticed her, and he was like, "Oh my god, like I love you, like you should just pick up a shift here as a joke." So they did it as a prank, and people started taking photos, and they had like her name tag ready and everything, like they
Oh,
just like
yeah,
laminated.
literally she had.
And at the end, she just like gave the tips all to the waiter that was serving her. She's just she says yes to everything. Like
Yeah,
she's
she
like
don't give a
I'll
fuck.
try it.
I
I think
love her
that's
how big. Yeah, someone on Twitter was like, "Is this work study for celebrities?" And I'm like, "That's what Lana's doing. Just
she's
trying it for a
just
day."
humbling herself. So before the world humbles her, she's like, I know, I
I will
got
say
this.
that's pretty badass for her to be like such a big artist and still be like, you know what? Like, I'm here. I'm gonna do what like normal quote unquote people do. Like, fuck it. I'm gonna be humble and not have an ego. And people like that are like, her, Miley Cyrus, anyone that has like that kind of like mentality, Gaga, that's always humble. That's why they have longevity in their career. So you know what? Good for her. Absolutely. I was gonna send you the tweet because I was like, wait, Nora loves her so much. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Um,
I knew before the news came out.
literally. So continue what you were just saying though. Is there any like I would love for you to give clarification to fans that are not on your side, let's say, or like, is there anything that was in an article or videos of
Yeah.
something that
So
happened that like
I think there
whatever?
was I this is just I can't listen to anything that comes out now because I'm gonna feel some sort of unfairness to it.
Yeah.
I because I'm a writer, I'm just gonna want to write back, and I don't sing, so I'm gonna have to
Well, this
sell
is
it
why
to
you
someone
have
else.
this
That's personal.
podcast episode. This is for you to, instead of writing back,
Yeah,
speak your narrative back.
not everything that comes out in a song is the person that's saying its perspective. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
the artist, because they are artists, they're so creative and they're genius, they like to flip it. And sometimes they like to write a script, they make up a scenario. And the first song that came out after a breakup, maybe like a month after, very, very quickly, I was getting messages saying, "How could you do this to him? How could, like, you're such a terrible person." I was like, "What?" I didn't want to listen to it. So I read the lyrics and I was like, that's what happened to me. That's
Mm.
me. I was doing that. I was crying. I was XYZ. And I reached out and he reassured me. He's like, it's just made up. It's not real. And I was like, okay. But it really hurt because it was so soon. And I didn't even tell my family yet. And I'm having these messages, like really sweet messages and really mean messages. Luckily, this funneled out so quickly that now I look at the people that are still following me that follow cigarettes after sex, and it makes me so happy. I'm like, wow, they stuck around for me. That's really cool. Like they actually think I'm cool, and
Yeah,
they'll
you have
respond
a
to
good
things
following.
like about my tarot, about like like the stupid funny memes that I'll find hilarious and I want to share, and they're very encouraging, and they never bring him up, and I love it.
I love that. That's really good. I'm really glad you were able just to clarify that actually just now about anything new coming out that possibly there
And
could
I'm
be a
glad
flip.
the way we met, by the way, the band name came out days later from hanging out with you, and you told me your favorite song, and I was so shocked because everyone tells me their favorite song, and it's literally another girl's name or like something that has nothing to do with me. Like I was not even existing then, and you specifically told me the song that was the first song that was about me and him falling in love. And that made me feel so happy because that meant it led me to you.
Yeah, and what's
It was
really
really
crazy is my ex that you helped me, get over is what played the song for me.
yeah,
Isn't that what's crazy? Like the synchronicity in that of like,
yeah.
wild.
It's crazy to think if we were still with them, we would not have met
Oh
yet.
no, we would have not, because this is where trauma bonding, I'm going to put it in a positive way, which is rare because trauma bonding usually is not a great thing.
Trauma
But
bonding, not in romance.
exactly. And you and I, though, we were able to take a lot of shock that happened to us this year and like build a friendship without toxic. Like it was really, really constructive. You know what I mean? There was a lot of like really building. You're right. If we were still with both of them, I don't
Well, we didn't
think.
have time to complain when we were together.
No, at all.
We
We
were
were like, hey,
excited
what's
about
our
our
next move? We were like, we're not letting these men holding us back. No, 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 no. We were like, what are we doing next? And
and by the way, they never did. They were like, "Do your thing." And we're like, "No, I'm gonna be hurt for a little."
I mean, which, respect. We're allowed to have our sad girl, sad boy moment. But if you were still with him and I was still with mine, I'm pretty sure we would have never met because we're both now in this beautiful Rising Phoenix self growth journey. I can guarantee if we were both with our exes, we would still be holding ourselves back.
If I looked into a crystal ball back then that showed me two paths, and it was like the most traumatizing year I've ever had. Or I could still be with this person and be who I thought was like, oh, this is a great relationship. I, without a doubt, I would be like, take me on the dark path. Snow White style. I don't care.
Yeah, same.
Because all the people that oh my gosh, all the people that I thought were like best friends, like during my Greg phase, were nowhere to fucking be found. And the ones that they were acquaintances, or they just started coming into my life and they actually loved me at my worst. And they didn't even know my best. They did not know my best yet. And they stuck around. That's my soul family. And you're one of them.
No, thank you. So are you. And
Never cry.
no. Literally though, I agree. I, you know, back then, if I were looking in a ball, also a crystal ball, I would be scared to dive into that, right? Because I'm like so comfortable with my ex, but I would choose that too because I feel so good right now. Like as we talk, I know who the fuck I am more than I did last year. I have so many fun art projects coming out. I met you. I cut off like people that like were annoying or toxic in LA already. I am just so like I don't know, my witchery has developed with you. Like when I was dating my ex, I had these psychic powers, but it was just so he didn't really believe in them, and there was just a lot of like
You were giving
pessimistic views. Yeah, it's like I would have meditation times, right? And then it would be diluted with pessimism. And I'm like, yo, like I as an empath or which sharing a bed and an entity with someone that just is so against it, that's really hard. So it's just really nice to I don't know, cut the cords. And also, if breaking up with him taught me that I was codependent. So I needed this shit to happen because I would not be as quote unquote independent bad bitch as I say I'm in all my books. And then in reality, I'm not. So, yeah, I don't know. You and I had a very beautiful spiritual awakening that's still happening right now. Like, remember, Lionsgate's coming up. There's some still witchery sealing the deal coming up. And we have a whole rest of the fucking year for you and I to glow up. So, there's a lot happening.
I just know it's coming so soon. Like we're gonna change the world with our own talents. And I don't want my name to be the only thing, like I don't want what happened to be connected with my name only. Like
Exactly.
unfair. Like if you like I want one day someone, if they want to look me up or ask about me, they're like, oh, she influenced me so much. I love her book. I love her tarot readings. I love her insight. I love her ideas. I love her films. That's what I want. I don't want this person got broken up with. And it's like not even, it's just out of context and unfair. And so I'm not going to just sit there and like complain about it. I'm going to change it.
Taking back your
So this
narrative,
is
baby.
going to be Jeff Bezos. No, but I
Well,
ain't shaking my head.
well, no, you were talking about being a manager for a while, but I really think you hit the nail on the head in the beginning of this episode. I think you being an intuitive coach to talent is great. I think it's its own job that's not really popular right now or needed. We always have what is it like something that you call inspirational coach, right? Something like that, which
Yeah,
is great, right? But they're more about the idea of manifestation and owning who you are. It's less witchery and more like self
yeah.
growth, self help. You can actually
It's like a spiritual
combine
therapist.
yes, you can actually combine someone's purpose and mission with clairvoyant energies. And that's a beautiful combination because you're using the art of manifestation and self belief with these fucking goddess higher powers. So honestly, Nora, this is something you should look into.
Because the
I think,
audience are the ones that are tapped in. That's why
yes,
they're creatives. It's crazy because everything that you've ever been through in life is preparing you and leading you to something that's bigger than that. But it's always the same field or reason. Like I did not date a musician just to date. Like I didn't go through all of that just to not take that experience with me and use it to help other people. And I'm not a singer, so I'm like, well, what the hell was the point of that? Oh, that's what it is. And you just keep going. So every downfall is like, you get excited, you better get excited because that means there's going to be something that's right in front of you and you need to open that door. It's really crazy. It's like a high, like you just feel high.
yeah, I really think you should look into being like an intuitive coach because you got it.
I want to tell you, yeah, I definitely want to tell you like my idea. I just can't to the public.
Yeah, no, off record, we will talk about this. When we're done this episode, we'll talk about this. But you literally have answered everything that I wanted you on. It's been almost 40 minutes now. This is great. Is there any, while we still have this platform of talking about your narrative, is there anything else you would like to tell, the fans that have followed you or have not, or in case this person's listening, is there a message of Nour?
Yeah, thank you.
Classy, baby. I
You
love it.
set me free and you fueled me to everybody. And this does not have to be negative. It could be how they perceive it. They set me free. They helped me be who I actually am. And that includes certain people who follow me, people
Yeah.
I meet on the street telling me, you should have a TikTok. I'm like, that makes me not want to have one. I'm going to figure out something bigger than that. And everything I'm going to attract now is going to be for the greater good. That's it.
I love this, and I can also attest yet again to this. She has handled this breakup so classy, so not no, literally, like you
When I
really
tried with
didn't.
the life size, I was like,
No, I just want to say no,
what?
no bad mouthing, no defamation, no bashing, no
No,
assassination.
because
You actually handled it really for for as much emotion and energy and shock there
a lot
was. Yeah, so I would say a lot. You
just yeah.
actually never really talked negative about this person or anything. So I want any fan listening or anyone listening to that, like you actually have handled it so fucking maturely.
It's because I loved that person at one point. And I know people say there's a fine line between love and hate. I don't think there is. It's
Mm.
just love. The hate it's you. It's you hate something about yourself. So yeah, I could never say anything about it. He saved my life so many times. Took me around the world. He's a wonderful person. He's a genius. He's a creative genius. Like those words are about us. And one day I'm going to be able to listen to it. Just not any time in this lifetime. Because
I
I'm
love
busy.
you. You got things to do. God.
I'm a CEO.
I love you.
And
Thanks for
I'm so
sharing.
glad we were going through the same thing at the same time in a weird way.
I
because
needed you, girl. Listen. I cannot imagine going through what I went through without having a friend that gets it and having my cats. If I was
because
alone,
you didn't talk about the person, that you didn't talk about the actual person's downfalls. You said, what's the difference between an introvert and an extrovert? Why is this? And I was like, oh, I know exactly how to answer that. I just went through it. And I was like, if I had known this before, I would have saved us so much pain. And with you, I'm like, let me help you. And you're like, it's already. I was like, oh, well, at least you understand now.
yeah,
You're
I
like,
was like, I was like,
but
it's too late. But I was like, you can help me with the healing,
I'm
which
like,
is
and you can
important
help
though. You help me with the healing. It's the healing is also as
each
hurtful as the
other.
breakup. So they're both hurtful. The breakup's shocking, but then the healing for those 4 months, years, whatever it takes for someone to heal, it's can be brutal. So I'm lucky that it only was 4 months of healing for me, and now I'm in a really good place. But yeah, I had you for those 4 months. I literally met you a week and a half after the breakup. By the way, like I literally broke up with him, and I met you the 2 Tuesdays
I
after.
remember, yeah, because you were going to text. And I go, wait,
Yes.
you're going to reverse
Yeah,
a reverse
you
mind.
you have been there since the very beginning of the healing journey. So yeah, I thank you for helping me and taking my 2 hour conversations on the phone.
I love you. Hey,
I love you so
absolutely.
much. I salute
I love that
you.
you took me out to West Hollywood for the first time in like 12 years. I've not been out there in over a
We had
decade.
so much fun. I love going out with
I
you.
was the belle of the ball. I was like, what? And it felt so genuine because you were attracting those really fucking cool guys and cool friends that you had. And they made me feel so special. They were like, oh my God, you are so beautiful. They're like, your energy is. It was like a genuine compliment.
Yeah.
And it made me feel really good because I was having a bad day that day.
And that's a great part of feeling too. It's like even little moments like that, you and I going out at night and getting reaffirmation that, yeah,
Because we
we're
don't drink. So it was
yeah, yo, I will also say a part
weird.
of the healing journey that's been so nice is like being sober and like
Mm-hmm.
having wine here and there. Like I love that's why I love hanging out with you too, because it's like we can just hang out sober and like vibe the fuck out and go
Yeah,
out sober, or we'll just have a few glasses of wine, which is totally fine. It's better than me what I used to do, pounding shots
yeah.
of liquor and being
There's
hung
no guilt for
over.
doing it. It's like, oh, we
Yeah,
just don't want to for some
yeah,
reason.
which is also another nice thing to have with a friend is not
Yeah.
being. You don't have to be under the influence to enjoy each other's company, which
Mm-hmm.
is sad that we have to numb ourselves for friends sometimes. But with you, no, I can just be raw, sober, and have a fucking great time as if we're drunk and high. You know?
I will say, you are like that with everyone. Even if they give you like pushback, you're like, okay, bye. I think we talked about we always need an exit route because we do have this independence in us that was like hidden from the codependency, but
Yes.
we actually have that.
This is such a
But
good point
you
you're bringing
feel
up right now. I, I in my past 3 boyfriends, I've always had something inside me that would fight this codependency sometimes, be like, what the fuck are you doing? But then
yeah,
the codependency is so heavy and so conditioned, wired in that it's like a quilt, right? And
and you
you're the independent
sabotage it
body. Yes.
in order to be your
Finally,
true self.
yes, finally this past breakup, I was like, oh my God, I'm finally being independent fully. And it feels amazing.
And unfortunately, like in order to do that during a spiritual journey, you have to be given information about the person that hurt you that is disturbing to you.
Which
And once is not enough. Twice, no, I loved them for a long time.
4th of
After a
July,
certain amount of
4th of
time, you're like,
July.
that person's gone. The person I created is not that person anymore.
And
Just like
that's what
I'm
4th
not.
of July was, because before 4th of July, I had 2 situations sent to me that disturbed me, but I didn't have that final punch in the face. 4th of
Yep.
July
Do you
was
remember
like,
what we did with our? We went to the hill and we like,
yes,
yeah,
okay, that was also magical. I forgot that we even did
I
that.
don't
That
know
was
why I
so
did that, but
nice.
after I felt everything strip away, and I woke up and I was like, I remember texting. I was like, "Do you feel really good right now?" And you're like, "Girl, I feel like I'm just
Yeah,
like an
July
absolute
5th was like the next day. We
exhausted."
were brand new people. We were like, okay, great, let's
And
go.
when that happens with us, I've noticed we don't speak for a few days because
Yeah,
we are not codependent with each other. Because usually when good things happen like that, I like with me and my sister, like I start to hang out with her every day, so I could tell her, like, remember when this happened? Like when we would live together. With you and me, we're like, oh, that means we're about to have individual experiences, and then eventually we'll come back within a week or a month and talk about it, and then keep going. And that's
Exactly.
what friends should be.
I'm so excited for Lionsgate for us. I like can't even imagine what's about to happen. If that was a beautiful development 4th of July, just imagine August 8th. It's gonna be
Oh, woo! This Venus in retrograde is this is the first Venus in retrograde that is not going to affect us negatively, because you would hear that in the past.
yes,
Here we go. Nope.
yeah. And
It's a karmic
also
boomerang.
the access is in Libra for the next 18 months now. So for my sign, I'm over here like we're out here winning for the next year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Venus is my ruling planet, and it's a retrograde. It's actually good. It's about building boundaries and foundation on love. So I'm over here like, is this my time, 2023 to 2025 right now? Of like,
I'm
and then like,
recording. My mom.
oh, hey
But yeah,
mom.
no, you're right. And okay, so when Venus in retrograde's over, then I can't remember. There's something after. Oh, it's you know what? We have a new moon coming up. Is that what it is?
I feel like we
I can
always have
remember. It's an
something.
Aquarius. That's why I was like, I think it's a full moon that's going to affect Aquarius.
Absolutely. Well, also the axis being in Libra, it's still an air sign. So anyone that's
Yeah.
air, you're having this like uplifting energy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for us.
Very
I
excited.
loved having you on, and thank you for sharing your vulnerability and your narrative experience with me.
Thank you for having your platform and putting me on it.
Duh, you're a badass witch.
Advance.
but
I I'm just so excited for your book too. Wait, are we supposed to my book?
I can't
Can I
wait.
talk about
Yes,
that?
no, we can totally.
Okay.
It is out for pre-order right now. Actually, well, the ebook is. I'm waiting for print to come through. But yeah, by the time this episode's out, y'all, it'll be August 8th. We're dropping that
Yeah.
whole weekend of well, it's August 8th on a Tuesday, whatever. So that whole beginning of the week, we are going to be dropping everything: book, podcast episode with Nour. There's going to be just a lot coming out that week. So yeah, my book will be fully out by then. So yes, check it out. The Art of Loving Myself. It is literally what Nora and I was just talking about for the past 40 minutes. It is about trauma, narrative, love, self-growth, uh, all of it. So get into it. Yeah.
Inner shadow work, people.
Yes, literally though. And also
It's
therapy
hard
is
to teach
beautiful.
people that because you have to do it yourself.
And
It's
that's the
really, yeah.
thing. That's the thing where I'm at. I'm at a point where I'm like, if I can spend all these years in therapy and do a lot of self work, I only really want to be hanging out with people that like are at least working on themselves. Like whether it's
You will
meditation.
hang out with those people. There is
Yeah,
no
I'm
other.
just like, yeah, you know how we talk about the split of 3D and 5D. That's what I'm noticing lately. I'm just like people that
Oof.
are, you can just see that they still have this like toxicity or damage around them. I can't be around
Yeah, it's weird because usually empaths like you will, uh, people gravitate towards that.
all
But
the
you're actually
time.
repelling that now.
No,
You're
now it's
repelling
opposite.
it.
I think I closed the portal. I think I
Yeah.
finally was able to learn how to be an empath still and like care for the people that I care for, but not attract, which is really nice because that's been something I've been
Yeah.
trying to do for the past 10 years.
Love without attachment.
That's also very powerful, love without attachment, detach with love.
Yeah. And when people,
All
I
of
mean,
it.
there's such a negative, like, definition towards, like, detached, but no, it's actually, it means they are not you. They are not your everything. You will not fall apart if this person is going to be here and you're going to be there. You're fine. You love them just like you love people from afar, just like we love like actors in movies from afar. It's it's not about you. It's never personal. Once you know it's not personal, I mean, that's when we're like, damn, it really is not personal.
Well, you're right. I think when you really truly love yourself and you know that your value for yourself is more important, and even if it's like a hater about your art wants to shit on you, it's just their reflection. They're just projecting, you know what I mean? So I'm at a point where I'm like, yeah, it's not personal. It's drag.
Yeah,
Everything's drag. Life is drag. Where we put on clothes and makeup, right? We put on faces and characters. Like that's why I look at it. I'm like, ugh, my soul is not even bothered to touch. So
I'm
figure it
just like,
out.
what do I do tomorrow?
Literally,
So exhausting. What
you're
trade
so
should
fun.
I?
Okay, actually,
Um,
can we end on this note? Can you tell the joke about the reality in dreams?
Yeah, no, wait, what? Okay, so this is when you and me were sitting down, and I was like, I've lately like been, my dreams have been so, they're not crazy or vivid. They're just like day to day things. It doesn't seem like a fantasy world. It seems normal, and I'm starting to mix reality with my dream world. And you said, well, like they say that when you're dreaming, that's the alternate reality. So that's when you're awake. And I just looked at I did not skip a beat. I was like in my PJs. I was like, then let's go the hell back to sleep. I'm done. I was like, then what are we doing right now? Let's knock ourselves out and go back to the world. Like, what are
If
we doing here?
I can replay that forever, I would.
Yeah, we just looked at each other and I was like, then goodbye. Like, let's get the
But
hell out of
also, the
here.
reality is, that's true though, at the same time. It's like, yeah, if I can just sleep for the rest of my life, honestly, I wouldn't be mad at it.
But also, like, there's a little bit of amnesia when you wake up.
Yes.
Whereas now you actually like you carry it with you every day. You remember, and I'm like, huh.
Well, that's why I really do think that like sometimes dreaming is reality. I think we just have it wrong. I think science has it wrong right now about the what because there's so many studies till today what dreaming is,
Mm-hmm.
and why are witches like you and I being able to carry it when we wake up? Why do we have vivid downloads now? Why do we have like I've had dreams back then where I was getting chased by a dog and I would have palpitations in my sleep as if it was real, and then I would wake up with a bruise from the bite. So I'm over here like, if I'm waking up bruised from a dream, there has to be some kind of correlation or like relation to them. Like, there's no way these
I
two
wonder
dimensions
if
are
it
not.
was a past life where you had that, or an alternate universe,
See,
or
that's another
reality universe.
theory. No, that's another theory right there. Another theory is that the dreams are tapping into the other versions of you. So absolutely, there's a
Like a
reason
glitch.
why. Think about it, right? So movies always tell the future. This is why creators create this. Why are there so many multiverse movies right now? Not even just Marvel anymore. There's multiverse movies in horror now. Even horror has their own universes. Like, there's a reason why people are creating this, right? It's not a hoax. So there is some dimension that's connecting these. And I know I may sound crazy right now, but then I'm like, why is your favorite movie Marvel Ultimate Universe or Doctor Strange or even like that 3-part on Netflix,
Interstellar.
the slasher film? There's just so many things. Everything all at once. There's just like all these movies that are sort of hinting that like we don't know what else is out there. So yeah, I
We don't.
think
We don't. I don't think like people always have this misconception that like scientists and philosophers want to know the answer. They just want to ask more questions.
that's
They
it.
don't care about the answer. They just want to gain knowledge. And that's why we have the medicine we have now. That's why we have the technology we have now. So I'm going to keep exploring that. I'm always going
Well,
to ask questions about it. We've
I still need
been
to watch the
whatever.
videos because they had the alien hearing the other day.
And of course, we'll talk after this. It's crazy how I related to that only for the last month and a half, and I never have before. And I'm from
Oh, no
Houston,
way.
NASA, Space City, baby.
That's a baby. But okay, I love to have you
We
on
have
this. I love you so
a
much, and thank you for being
I
on
love
this.
you.
I'll talk to you later.
Um, I will talk. Well, call me after this.
Well, no, we'll be on after this. I'm just gonna stop recording.
And I was like, hello.
Yeah. Bye.